In today's video, I'm going to talk about the narcissistic manipulation tactic of word salad. And I just want to acknowledge at the very beginning of this video that word salad is also the nickname of a condition known as aphasia, which is when somebody's ability to understand speech or to speak or to recognize written word is disrupted by mental illness or injury or stroke or something like that. That is not what I'm talking about in this video. Unfortunately, this manipulation tactic shares its nickname, word salad, with the nickname for aphasia. But I just want to make it clear, I am talking about the manipulation tactic of word salad, and in today's video I'm going to go over several very specific examples of what word salad sounds like and why narcissists in particular so commonly use this manipulation tactic. Welcome to Looking Behind the Mirror, where we explore narcissism and take our lives back as we make sense out of nonsense. As a quick disclaimer, everything I say is based on my opinions and my personal experiences. I'm not a professional, and if you're really struggling, I encourage you to seek professional help. I am providing links below for you. Now, word salad is a manipulation tactic that narcissists and other toxic manipulative people use to stop communication, to stop you from thinking, to stop you from talking about whatever it is you're talking about. And it's usually done out of fear. Narcissists in particular do this when they're trying to avoid accountability. They don't like the road you're going down. They don't like where this conversation's going. So they're trying to derail the conversation. They're trying to confuse you, distract you, deflect blame, whatever they can do. This is kind of an act of desperation to try to stop whatever's happening from happening. And it's very successful a lot of the time because it just comes out of left field and it can be so disorienting. So I'm going to just start off with an example of what I would consider to be a very pure example of the epitome of what word salad is. So I want you just to imagine that you're in a romantic relationship with a narcissist and you're trying to have a serious conversation with them about the way that they've been treating you and how unhappy you are. And maybe you're even trying to bring up the idea that you might want to actually leave this relationship. And let's say that prior to this conversation, the narcissist has spent the last 3 months screaming at you every single day about how you don't clean the toilet the right way, while maybe the narcissist has been cheating on you or throwing dirty banana peels behind the refrigerator, and you're trying to have a serious conversation about these problems. And with this type of word salad, the narcissist might start saying something like, I know things are tough, and I know things can get really hard sometimes in a relationship. We've been through some really hard things together, but that's what a relationship is. There's ups and there's downs. And I know I'm not with somebody that would just quit when things are down, when things aren't going well. I know I'm with somebody that's going to fight with me for this relationship. And this is kind of like, in the movies when people come to a fork in the road and they don't know whether they should go left or go right. I know which way I would go. I would go the way that ends up with us together fighting for our relationship. And I'm sad to hear that it sounds like maybe you're thinking of going the other way, of throwing in the towel, of giving up everything we have just because things aren't going that great. Things have been tough for you and I. We've been going through some really hard times together, but I'm willing to fight. I'm willing to stay in this game and keep the promises that I made in the beginning, because quitting is not what I got in this for. I got in this to be with you for the rest of our lives. And I know that that's what you want too, after everything we've been through. Just because we've been through some hard times together, we've been through some good times too. And I was driving down the road the other day and I came to a fork in the road, just like the one that I was talking about, like in the movies. And I came to the fork in the road and this song came on the radio. And they said in the song, don't stop believing. Hang on to that feeling. And that's the feeling that I want to hang on to. I want to hang on to that feeling with you. And that's the feeling that I want to fight for. It's like when I was a kid, in 1985, I was on the swim team. I was a little kid and my coach said to me, if you really apply yourself, You could be the next Michael Phelps. And I knew he was right, for sure. But I was just a kid, and I didn't fight for that dream. I just gave up when things got tough. And now look at me today. I got no gold medals. But I know that with you, if you and I can try together, that we can get that gold medal for us, for ourselves. But I can't do it alone. I can't fight for ourselves if you're not there fighting with me. Now, anyone that's been through this before, you know that I'm only slightly exaggerating. And for some narcissists, I'm not exaggerating at all. This is really how this kind of conversation can go. And now, to me, I think this is really kind of funny and amusing, but I've been on the other end of this when I've been in a state that makes it not so funny. When you are actually trying to have a serious conversation with somebody about something that's extremely important to you, and you get this type of response, it is confusing, disorienting, invalidating, especially when this is somebody that you still have feelings for, that you trust, someone that you don't realize is willing to manipulate you and hurt you in order to protect their own ego. When you're still in this really vulnerable state of maybe having a broken heart, maybe being very hurt and distressed by what's happening, and you're just trying to have a serious conversation, this is like they're putting egg beaters in your brain and just blending your brain up to where you just don't even know which way is up anymore, because you cannot see that this person is manipulating you and distracting you and derailing the conversation on purpose. Now, to illustrate why narcissists do this, I've already kind of explained it. It's to avoid accountability, to avoid talking about the real problem, because they know what the problem is. They are not confused. They understand completely why you want to leave, or why you're upset, or what it is you want to talk about. And they absolutely do not want to talk about those things, because that would mean acknowledging that they've been behaving badly, or that there are some things that they need to acknowledge that they need to change, or that they've been doing wrong. But to illustrate this point, let's imagine that you're trying to have a serious conversation with a narcissist about the way they've been treating you, and they didn't use word salad, and they did just speak clearly and respond to what you're saying. It would sound something like, "How could you cheat on me again after everything we've been through? How could you do this again? How could you do this to me? I forgave you. I trusted you." Well, I wanted to. And I mean, I didn't really care that much about our relationship, and I didn't think that you'd find out. So I guess it's because I'm a really selfish person. Or maybe it would go something like this. "Why do you get so angry over the smallest things? I feel like I'm walking on eggshells all the time, and any tiny mistake that I make, you're infuriated over it. I don't understand why you're so angry." "Well, I don't know. I just always feel really angry all the time. I guess I have some pretty serious emotional problems that I don't know what to do with." Or maybe something like this. I thought you said that you had a law degree." Oh, I forgot I told you that. I just said that because I was trying to impress you. I've never even really been to school." So you can see with these examples how the conversation would go if the narcissist didn't try to turn you in circles and confuse you and distract you and derail the conversation. So this is why they do it, because what else are they going to say? What are they supposed to say to you after everything they've done and how selfish and cruel they can be? They really can't talk straightforward to you. I mean, unless they really want to make a change, and that's extremely unlikely to happen, especially when you're putting them on the spot and confronting them with their behavior. They're narcissists, so they're going to do anything they can to avoid accountability and to stop the conversation from going anywhere constructive. Now, the example that I gave of word salad, to me, is the epitome of word salad. But word salad can be done in all kinds of different ways. It can be done by going in circles, circular conversations that just keep going back to the beginning. Just when you think you're getting somewhere, just when you think your point is maybe getting across, you end up right back at the beginning and you realize that nothing you've said has made any difference or gotten through to this person whatsoever. Or another form of word salad would be when the narcissist is contradicting him or herself, saying one thing one minute and then suddenly saying something completely different the next. Or it can be when the narcissist is totally ignoring what you're saying and responding to things that you didn't say. Like they're having a conversation with themselves and they're not listening to a word you're saying. And the more that you try to get through to them and the more you try to communicate, the more confusing things get. It can also be done by answering your questions without answering the questions, which I think my first example is a really good example of that, answering a question without answering. Talking and talking and talking without really saying anything. And narcissists also do this to overwhelm you, which is another thing that they can be trying to do with word salad, is just to overwhelm you with word vomit to the point where you don't even know what they're saying anymore and you can't even remember the point that you were trying to make. So a circular argument might go something like this. How could you cheat on me again? What? How could you accuse me of cheating? I have these text messages. I can see that you've cheated on me. What text messages? These text messages. How could you do this? What? Me? You're the one that's accusing me of cheating after everything we've been through. Everything we've been through. You're the one that put me through everything, and now you're doing it all over again. Wow, I thought I was with somebody that I could trust, but clearly you're going to be throwing out accusations and you're going to keep accusing me of doing something that's way in the past. This text message is from this morning. I can't believe that you're going to keep harping on this old problem that we used to have. Did you hear what I said? This is from this morning. And you just assume that that means I'm cheating because I'm obviously such a cheater? You just assume that that's what it means? Wow. Well, then you tell me what these messages mean. Well, obviously you've got it all figured out. Obviously I'm the one that's cheating. And this conversation will go around in circles where no matter what you say, it's always just going to keep coming back to the point of you don't trust them and you're going to keep accusing them of something that they're definitely doing. But all they have to do is just keep looping back and just keep deflecting blame and just keep refusing to acknowledge the proof that you've got right in your hand. I mean, you can't force someone to acknowledge proof of anything, even if it's irrefutable evidence. You can't force anyone to look at evidence and say, oh yeah, you caught me. So all a narcissist has to do is just keep turning you in circles until you finally just get tired and give up. And if the circumstances are right in this kind of a conversation, you might even wonder, maybe they're right. Maybe I am accusing them of something they didn't do. I mean, what if they really didn't cheat on me? Maybe I'm crazy. Maybe I'm overreacting, which is exactly what they want you to think, which is exactly what this manipulation tactic is designed to do. Another common thing you'll see when narcissists use word salad is how they contradict themselves. And this really just goes to show that what they're saying doesn't mean anything. They'll say whatever sounds good in that split second because 2 seconds later they could be saying something that completely contradicts what they say. And that's because they're really not even thinking about what they're saying. They're just thinking about exactly what they should say in this very moment in order to derail the conversation and distract you. So it might sound something like, why do you get so angry over such small little things? Me? I'm not angry. You're the one who's angry. You just yelled at me for 2 hours because I bought the wrong kind of hot dogs. Well, maybe I wouldn't get so angry if you would listen to me. So you are angry. Now you're putting words in my mouth. But you just said that you wouldn't get so angry if I would just listen to you. Which is true. But you also said that you're not angry and that I'm the one who's angry. Finally, it looks like somebody's learning how to listen. I mean, if a conversation like that doesn't make you crazy, I don't know what will. Another sign of word salad is when the narcissist seems to be having a conversation with themselves, completely ignoring what you're saying or responding to things that you didn't say. I thought you said you had a law degree. Wow, is that all you care about? Do you have any idea what my mom went through when I was a kid? She was a single mom that had 7 jobs, and I'm sorry if we can't all afford to go to school. Like, are you just with me because you think I have a law degree? Is that all I am to you? No, I just thought you told me that you had a law degree. Do you have any idea how hard it was for my mom to just feed me? And, now you think that she's supposed to give me a law degree? She's supposed to pay for my school? Why don't we call her right now and you can ask her. You can ask her why I didn't go to school. And then there's just distraction or deflection. I thought you said you had a law degree. Well, I thought you said you could cook. Or something like, how could you cheat on me again after everything we've been through? Why are you trying to change the subject? I was just talking about what a terrible cook you are. Or something like, why do you get so angry over the smallest things? I don't know how to make you happy. Oh, here we go. You're gonna ruin a perfectly nice night again. Typical. And here's an example of answering your question without answering your question. How many women did you date when you were in college? Oh, well, when I was in college, we had this singles night every Thursday that me and my friends would go to. They had it in the cafeteria, and they had all these tables set up, you know, that you would get paired up with somebody, and you would sit and talk at the table for like 5 minutes. Speed dating. It was called speed dating. Anyway, my friend Todd, he had this crush on it. That's great. I was just curious how many women you dated while you were in college. Oh, I'm getting to that. So my friend Todd, he had this crush on this girl that was there. She was supposed to be there at this speed dating night, right? So we get there, and then my other friend, Jared, he was there too. And when they start doing the speed dating, this girl that Todd had a crush on got paired up with Jared. Oh, that's great. I was just curious how many women you dated while you were in college. Look, I'm trying to answer your question. You know, don't ask the question if you don't want me to answer. If you are ever in a conversation with somebody that's a very important conversation to you, that feels like it's going in circles or going nowhere, or just never stops being confusing no matter how hard you try to communicate, really just take a minute to stop and step back and ask yourself, is this a full-grown adult with average intelligence that's able to understand basic concepts? Unless this person has serious cognitive deficiencies, there's no reason for these conversations to continue the way they are. And you should be able to clearly see that this person is distracting you, confusing you, invalidating you, disorienting you on purpose. This person knows how to communicate. They're just trying to avoid communication. And this can be really hard to understand when this is someone that we still trust, someone whose intentions we still trust. It's the last thing in the world we would ever think that this person would purposefully try to lead us down some confusing, nonsensical path that does not lead to a resolution to a very serious problem that we're having. When we're in a serious relationship with somebody that's important to us, when problems come up, when things are going wrong, when we're arguing all the time, or one or both of us is completely miserable, it's natural to assume that the other person is going to want to try to find genuine solutions to these problems. It's natural to assume that you both want to address anything that's making the other person miserable. So you're working under these false assumptions while you're being talked to by somebody that's trying to purposefully confuse you and manipulate you, and somebody who is not interested in real solutions to these problems. Because with a narcissist, the only real solutions to these problems is for the narcissist to take accountability of their behavior, for the narcissist to acknowledge the ways that they are making you miserable. And a narcissist would much rather just move on to a different relationship and start over than to be in a relationship where they have to take accountability for themselves and change their behavior in order to keep the relationship. It's really hard to hear, and it's a very painful realization, but no relationship is worth it to a narcissist. That's why they do this. They will keep manipulating you and stringing you along and confusing you for as long as it works, for as long as they can, because that's really all they've got left in the relationship. All they care about is maintaining control. They do not care about solving the problems. And as long as they can keep you holding out hope, strung along, confused, and trying to fix this problem that you have nothing to do with, as long as they can do that, then they've pretty much got what they want, which is control of your emotions. And as soon as that day comes where you've truly had enough and you're not going to let them get away with talking to you in circles and going on and on with their meaningless nonsense, that's really it for them. They've got nothing left. They'll fight really hard to maintain control of you, but once they really truly lose control, there's nothing left for them that means anything to them. So that's why they're willing to destroy a relationship with this word salad, with this refusal to communicate, because they're not interested in a healthy relationship. And I think it's important when you get into this situation to really start trusting yourself, trusting your own intuition. and acknowledging that when you're feeling confused, when you feel like what this person's saying doesn't make any sense, or can't possibly be true, or doesn't seem to mean anything, that you're probably right. This person probably isn't making any sense. And narcissists will work really hard to convince you that the reason you don't understand them is because you're not smart enough or you're not listening hard enough. And I think it's really empowering to finally realize that you're not the crazy one. You're not the one with the problem, that you're listening just fine, that this person is full of nonsense and that they're doing this on purpose. They know you're confused because they want you to be. So I hope that if any of the examples that I gave in this video resonate with you, that you're able to take back a little bit more of your power and recognize the places in which you're not doing anything wrong. You're just trying to communicate with somebody that is committed to not communicating with you. I hope this helps. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up and comment below any ideas you have for me for future videos. And don't forget to subscribe to my channel if you like this video and would like to see more like it in the future. Until next time, thanks. Bye.